You've fired hundreds of guns in Red Dead Redemption 2, but this is one almost no one finds. And the craziest part? You get exactly one chance to take it. Miss it, and it's gone. Forever. This video is about every rare and unique weapon hidden across every Red Dead game. The ones Rockstar buried so deep that most players finish the entire story without ever knowing they existed. We're starting with the most missable gun in the entire game, then working through a golden pistol you can get before most players even unlock the store that sells it. Chapter 3. You're in the middle of Magicians for Sport. You and Charles are tracking down bounty hunters who managed to grab Trelawney. The mission moves fast. There's a cornfield. There's a shootout. You're pushing toward a barn near Braithwaite Manor. Most players are focused on one thing: clearing the area and finishing the fight. They push forward, the mission closes out, and they move on. But hidden in the upper loft of that barn is a sniper, and in his hands is the rare rolling block rifle. It looks close to the standard version, but it isn't. It has slightly better accuracy than anything you can buy at any gunsmith in the entire game. It's engraved, it's one of a kind, and here's the problem. The moment that mission ends, the rifle vanishes. You can replay the mission and it'll update your compendium, but the actual weapon will not carry over to your inventory. There is technically a small chance of finding it on a Lemoyne raider in a gang camp, but that's so rare that most players never see it. So if you didn't climb that barn loft, kill that specific sniper, and loot his body before the mission completed, you just lost the most missable gun in the entire game. No second chances, no in-game warning, nothing. It's just gone, and most players don't even know what they missed. That's the first one, but the next gun on this list isn't locked behind a mission at all. There's no countdown, no deadline. You just have to know where to look and survive what's waiting for you there. Far northeast corner of the map, north of Annesburg, into Roanoke Ridge, there's a small settlement called Manito Glade, barely a dot on the map, and sitting in a hut there is a hermit. When you ride up, he steps out and starts screaming at you to get off his property. If you stay, he opens fire. Kill him and loot his body immediately, because what he's carrying is one of the most visually beautiful weapons in the entire game. The rare shotgun. It has faded brass engravings across the action and a light wood stock carved with a nature scene. No gunsmith sells it. No store stocks it. You cannot find it anywhere else on the map. And if you leave the area without picking it up, it disappears. No return trip, no respawn, gone. But here's the part that costs most players their only shot at this gun. The Hermit is one of only 4 enemies in the entire game who can kill Arthur in a single hit, regardless of your stats. Ride in without paying attention and you might not even get to see what you came for. Approach carefully, deal with him, loot fast, and you walk away with a unique double-barreled shotgun that exists nowhere else in the world, just sitting out there in the woods, guarded by one very angry man. That's the rare shotgun. But now we're getting into the guns that have actual story weight behind them, and the next one belongs to a dead man. You can't even pick it up until you've finished the entire game. Micah Bell's Revolver. It's a custom double-action revolver with a blackened steel frame and a red and black skull grip, and engraved into the side of the barrel in hand-cut letters are 5 words: "Vengeance is hereby mine." The gun belongs to Micah. It's one of 2 matching revolvers he carries throughout the entire story, through every betrayal, every lie, every moment where he's the worst person in the room. He holds on to those guns all the way to the top of Mount Hagen, where he dies. Once the final epilogue mission, American Venom, ends and the credits roll, you head back up that frozen mountain and there he is, Micah Bell, lying in the snow where John left him. And next to him, the revolver, one of them. Rockstar only lets you take one. The gun performs similarly to a cattleman revolver in terms of damage, but the rate of fire and reload are strong. And as a unique weapon, you can't customize it. What you see is what you get. The skull grip, the engravings, the weight of everything that weapon was part of. There is actually a way to get it earlier, during the very first chapter in the Old Friends mission. You can disarm Micah during the O'Driscoll shootout and grab it before the game even properly begins. But most players never figure that out. Most players just find it at the top of the mountain, after everything is over, which, honestly, might be the right way to find it. Micah's gun, in the snow, after everything it was used for. Now, that gun is heavy because of what it represents. But the next one is rare for a completely different reason. It's rare because of when you can get it. This is what the golden gun looks like in Red Dead Redemption 2, and you almost definitely missed it. Midnight's pistol. It belonged to Billy Midnight, a gunslinger you track down as part of the Stranger mission, The Noblest of Men and a Woman. You start that quest by speaking to a writer named Theodore Levin in the saloon in Valentine. He sends you after 5 legendary gunslingers to gather materials for his book. Billy Midnight is one of them. You find him at the Rhodes train station. He's nervous, jumpy. He tries to talk his way out of it, but you end up in a duel on the roof of a moving train. You win, you loot his body, and you find the Midnight pistol. It's a Mauser variant, one of the fastest firing sidearms in the game, customized with a full gold frame, black grips, and a black inlay design you cannot replicate at any gunsmith. But here's the thing that makes it genuinely rare. The Mauser pistol normally doesn't become available from gunsmiths until Chapter 5. This version, you can get it as early as Chapter 2. Which means if you find Billy Midnight before most players even have access to a Mauser, you're walking around with a golden pistol that nobody else can touch. The catch is the same as every gunslinger weapon in this quest. Loot the body before you move on. The moment you leave without grabbing it, it's gone. No going back, no second chance, just the memory of a golden gun you almost had. And speaking of that quest, the final one you earn from it might be the most interesting one in this entire list. Not because of what it looks like, but because of what's written on it. Calloway's Revolver. It's the last weapon you earn in The Noblest of Men and a Woman. After defeating 4 of the 5 gunslingers on Theodore Levin's list, you eventually track down Jim Boy Calloway himself, the legend behind the entire quest, at Brandywine Drop in Chapter 4. You duel him, you win, and you loot his silver Schofield revolver. On the side of the barrel, engraved in clean lettering, Canis Canem Edit. That's Latin for dog eats dog. But it's also the name that Rockstar Vancouver used for the game Bully in countries outside the United States. It's tucked there deliberately, a quiet signature from the developers hidden on a weapon that most players rush past without reading. The revolver itself has a silver finish and ornate engravings. Like every unique weapon in this questline, it cannot be customized. What it is exactly what Rockstar designed it to be. A one-of-a-kind weapon with a phrase that only makes full sense if you already know the history behind it. Most people see a pretty revolver. The ones who look closer see the signature. That's the kind of detail Rockstar hides in this game, but the next gun takes that idea even further, because this one requires a full treasure hunt just to get near it, and you can't even reach the location until the main story is over. Otis Miller's Revolver. It's a Schofield crafted from gold and ivory, decorated with the personal heraldry and engravings of the fictional gunslinger Otis Miller, a character mentioned in dime novels scattered throughout the game world. It has better accuracy and a faster reload than a standard Schofield, and as a unique weapon, nothing about it can be altered at a gunsmith. To find it, you follow a torn treasure map, the Poisonous Trail Hunt, pieced together from 2 separate fragments. One is hidden at the Hermit woman's shack in the remote northwest of West Elizabeth. The second is inside the Manito Glade cabin north of Annisburg, the same location as the rare shotgun. Following both leads you to Rattlesnake Hollow, a cave in the north part of Calloway Springs in New Austin. Inside the cave is a chest, and inside that chest is the revolver. The catch: New Austin is locked off until the epilogue begins. The invisible sniper mechanic that Rockstar uses to keep Arthur out of that region will kill you before you get close. Most players wait until John Marston takes over and the map fully opens. There is a technical window during Chapter 4's mission, Anglio Bronte, a Man of Honor, where the sniper is disabled, but you'd have to specifically know that to use it. For most players, Otis Miller's revolver sits in that cave for the entire duration of Arthur Morgan's story, an ivory and gold Schofield from a legend waiting in the dark. Now, all of these guns came from quests or treasure hunts, but the next one comes from a man you have to bother until he tries to kill you. Flaco's revolver. Flaco Hernandez is one of 5 gunslingers from The Noblest of Men and a Woman. You find him by heading to Cairn Lake, a frozen, remote spot in the snowy northern mountains of Abombrino with no easy road in. When you arrive, Flaco's gang is outside. Deal with them, then call out Flaco. He steps forward. You duel, he falls. His revolver is a cattleman variant with a sugar skull engraved into the frame, carved ivory grips, and a silver finish. One of the most visually distinctive revolvers in the game, and the rate of fire and reload speed make it genuinely useful, not just decorative. Like every unique weapon in this questline, you have to loot it on the spot, but here's what makes Flaco's revolver different from others. The location. Cairn Lake is out of the way. It's cold, it's remote, and there is no reason to go there except for this specific encounter. Players who rush through the gunslinger quest, or who don't realize they need to loot the body immediately before moving on to the next target, walk away with nothing. A sugar skull revolver with ivory grips left behind in the Ambarino snow because they forgot to look down. If you found any of these guns in your own playthrough, drop it in the comments. I want to know which ones you actually managed to grab. And if you're new here, subscribe, because we go this deep on every video. Now, every gun so far has been from Red Dead Redemption 2, but the last weapon on this list belongs to the first game. And it's the kind of weapon that only exists because Rockstar decided to hide something extraordinary behind a price tag most players never reach. The LeMat Revolver. Red Dead Redemption 1. It carries 9 rounds. 3 more than any other revolver in the entire game. It fires with exceptional stopping power, and it's available from the Escalera gunsmith in Mexico, one of the last regions most players explore. But here's the thing, most players who reach Mexico are already deep into the story. They're pushing through missions, they're not browsing gunsmiths. And the LeMat doesn't advertise itself. It's just sitting there on the shelf, behind a price tag that most players glance past without stopping. 9 rounds in a revolver, in a game where every other cylinder holds 6, that's not just a stat difference, that's a completely different way to play. You can take on groups that would empty any other gun before you finish the fight. You can be reckless in a way the game doesn't usually allow, and most players finish Red Dead Redemption 1 without ever buying it. It's not locked behind a mission, it's not hidden in a cave, it's not on a dead man in the snow, it's just sitting in a shop in Mexico waiting for someone to notice it. The LeMat. The last gun on this list, and in some ways, the simplest one. And the one most people miss for the most ordinary reason. They just didn't look. So let's bring it all together. 8 guns across 2 games, and every single one of them is designed to disappear if you're not paying attention. The rare rolling block rifle, 1 mission, 1 sniper, 1 window. The rare shotgun, a hermit who can kill you in a single hit, guarding a weapon that exists nowhere else. Michael Bell's revolver, a skull-gripped reminder of everything that went wrong, waiting in the snow at the end of the story. Midnight's pistol, a golden gun you can carry before most players even unlock the store that sells the base version. Calloway's revolver, a silver Schofield with a Rockstar signature hidden on the barrel, Otis Miller's revolver, ivory and gold locked in a cave in a region you can't even reach until the epilogue. Flaco's revolver, a sugar skull ivory-gripped cattleman left behind in the Amberino snow because players forgot to look down. And the LeMat, 9 rounds, sitting on a shelf in Mexico, missed by most players for the simplest reason of all. What I expected going into this was a list of cool guns. What I found was something more interesting than that. Every single one of these weapons tells you something about the world Rockstar built. A sniper in a barn loft, a hermit in the woods, a dead man on a mountain, a gunslinger on a moving train. These aren't just rare drops, they're moments. And almost every player walks straight past them. If you want to see more videos like this, hidden details, rare items, things Rockstar buried where nobody was looking, there's one right there that goes just as deep. Watch that next. And if you found any of these guns in your own playthrough, tell me in the comments which one it was. Because I genuinely want to know how many people actually grabbed the rolling block before the mission closed out. I'll see you in the next one.